In 1956, Justice Kennedy presided over the treason trial as one of the judges involved in determining the fate of over 150 South Africans, including Nelson Mandela. His son, Peter, grew up in a rural environment, only learning about his father through hearsay. Determined to extend his father's legacy, he initiated a model of working that would both empower his community and conserve the country's indigenous wildlife. Your father was one of the guys who acquitted Madiba during the treason trial. I mean, has he had an impact on your life?
My father's a beacon in my life. I'm not sure if you know it, but if he were alive today, he'd have been 107 years old. It's just like a full-on crazy scene. He died when I was 6. So I never really knew him other than what I gleaned from other people of him and readings of him, and what was written of him by Mr. Mandela in the book The Long Walk to Freedom. That's kind of set me on the path.
Peter, back to your childhood and upbringing, which is very interesting. Now, even in the apartheid days, you went against the grain because most of your friends were black and you defied segregation laws. Now, was that conscious or was it just natural for you?
I wish I could say it was conscious and scripted, but I think it was more just by default. Having this birthmark on my face, I was teased like hell by white kids, but I've never ever been teased by a Zulu in my whole life. So I was born into white privilege, but growing up on a farm, I lived my life as a self-elected Zulu because it was just a more comfortable space.
Now, the company's vision you shared with your late friend Lawrence, who eventually became your business partner. Now, how have you affected communities between Durban and Pietermaritzburg?
Probably the best place to start is right at the beginning. There was a valley where I spent a lot of time as a young boy, in which there was a land claim, and there were 19 farms which were claimed. And the community got hold of me and asked me if I wanted to do something with them. So I got hold of Lawrence, and I knew Lawrence to be a well-known conservationist. And he agreed with me that it would make a magnificent game reserve. We entered into a partnership with the community, and the deal was simple. We said to the community, if you commit your land to conservation, we'd bring opportunity. And that's the deal.
Peter's game reserve opened up the doors to a trifecta of opportunity whereby business, community, and conservation could all benefit. Mayibuye in a South African context has very political connotations. Why is the game reserve called Mayibuye?
We didn't name it. The community named it. And Mayibuye means bringing the land back. For us, it's symbolic, and it extends beyond just people getting their land back. And it extends to us being able to bring the first wild elephant to that area in what we estimate to be about 150 years. With Africa's growing population, we've realized that conservation is more about what you do outside of the game reserve than about what you do in it. And if you can't create meaningful opportunity, you can't expect the community to respect what you're doing. Game reserves are not about guns and fences anymore. It's about opportunity for the people so that they respect what they've got and they look after it. So we knew for our model to work, we had to do something different. And I did it through this company which you're seeing here. It's called Business for Good.
From the inside, Peter's company looks like any other, but it's the intention behind the business which is most important, whereby opportunity and development are championed over profit.
A company which makes display stands seems a very odd bedfellow to a game reserve. And if I start with the community, they'll benefit with a 50% sharehold in a company which I estimate will comfortably get to 500 million rand a year turnover. So they benefit through opportunity on a scale which they'd probably never previously imagined, in the form of equity and jobs. Furthermore, we look after 300 kids a day in creches, and we host sports tournaments. What's real about that is that the community have contributed to the success of this business. It's not a token partnership, it's for real. We want a situation by moving BFG into our community, to our game reserve, where our community can leave their homes in the morning, go to meaningful opportunity, spend the day there working, and return to their families at night. So social cohesion. Once I've achieved that, then I'm closer to delivering on my promise. So we've created a model which can be exported and create opportunity for other communities. I work very closely with Dr. Bandile Mkhize, who's the CEO of Ezemvelo KZN Wildlife. And Dr. Bandile has endorsed us as a game changer. And he's asked us if we'll please take the same model and put it into Hlahlui Amphalozi and Tembe Elephant Park.
Products that are manufactured at BFG are not only designed for client purposes. Peter also provides infrastructure for low-cost housing.
Pete, this looks like a very big operation here. Do you think some businesses neglect opportunities for social transformation?
I think business is head and heart. I think when you combine both, you're going to get to a future for this country that's going to work well. It's why you're doing what you do. And if the answer comes back, you're doing it to put a Ferrari in your driveway, then I've got the moral high ground over you and I'll beat you every single time. Because we're doing it to change a community, and if we're smart enough and we do it well enough, we'll change a country. The second thing it does is everyone that you see here knows what they're working for. They're not just working in this company, they own this company. I've got a super motivated workforce that does their best. That's our advantage. So we've got a strategic advantage and an operational advantage that's born out of this model.
Pete, if most people thought like you in this country, we wouldn't have half the problems we do. And I'd just like to say from us at Play Your Part, thank you for playing your part, and I hope this inspires you to carry on.
Thank you so much. It's been a really privilege having you guys, and I'm really flattered to be part of it. Thank you so much for all your help.
Fantastic.
It's my dream coming true.
Awesome.
Peter's life is determined by collaboration, both with his community and through the legacies of his father and his late friend Lawrence, who have inspired him to create a business model that allows everyone involved to prosper.
Here we are. That's it. Bye-bye.
Special, huh?
Working towards the mutual benefit of community, economy, and conservation, Peter's company is much more than a means to an end. In fact, if anything, it's the means to the beginning of something much greater.